Hi everyone, Chris Martenson of Peak Prosperity. I'm here with your weekly update. It is Friday, March 3rd. Now, March 1st, it was 70 degrees here in western Massachusetts, and that was record-breaking temperature. We had what I believe to be a record-breaking warm February as well. So just like last year, all that record warmth did the usual thing it does with trees and whatnot, and all the buds start to swell. Now, last year, there were no peaches in the whole state. I didn't get any, and a lot of my fruit trees were really heavily depressed because we had this warm, super warm early part of the year, and then the usual cold snap. Now, a little cold snap you can handle, but too much is a problem. Once you get into the low 20s, it's a problem. Last year we got to 17 and 19 degrees 2 nights in a row. Ouch, right? So March 1st, we're at 70 degrees. Tonight is March 3rd, and we're supposed to go down to 7 degrees tonight. And tomorrow night, I think it's like 9, and then 13. Ouch, we're done. That's it. So this level of weather chaos, listen, I'm in New England. It's always been part of the deal here, but it really feels different now. And the chaos is getting very hard to manage. Now, I also lost both of my honeybee hives this year. Neither of them made it even to this cold snap. Probably because it was too warm, too cold, too warm. It was just the warmth, they didn't get into their hibernation pattern. And you've heard me talk about before that the bumblebee is on the endangered species list. Not quite. Fish and Game Service has said, Fish and Wildlife, they want to put it on the endangered species list. But again, there is a lobbying group that is fighting that, and that is the American Farm Bureau. They're fighting it tooth and nail. Why? How far off the reservation are you in this story when farmers or their representatives are fighting the inclusion of the bumblebee, which is such a valuable ally to every farmer, except maybe those farmers that rely on wind pollination. So I guess the corn farmers, the wheat farmers, they got their lobbying group together and said, hey, fight that, because if we can't farm the easy, cheap way, it'll be a little more expensive, a little harder. So screw the bumblebee, let's fight that. I think that's what's happening here. But look, as long as it makes money for the moneyed elites in this country, it seems to be okay. This is what is breaking down right now. Let's just time out. A healthy society doesn't risk losing the bumblebee. A healthy society looks at this weather chaos and says, maybe we should be thinking about doing things differently, but we're not. What are we doing instead? We're jamming money into the markets so the markets can go up, so we'll feel good about ourselves, so that we'll buy more stuff, so that we can borrow more money, so that we can have more stuff, more money, more borrowing. That's the game. It's killing us. And the mainstream media is just cheerleading that endlessly. And it is a broken narrative. And the Federal Reserve is throwing savers, retirees, pensioners under the bus and doing it on purpose, and then feigning ignorance. If Janet Yellen comes out one more time and wrings her grandmotherly hands and says, oh, we're concerned about the wealth gap. What do you mean concerned? You created it. Is that like being concerned about Frankenstein? This is your monster. Own it. Janet, come out, be proud. We've just driven the largest wealth gap in all of history, and we couldn't be more proud. Look what we've done. This is amazing. Millions of retirees are suffering horribly economically, and we're proud of ourselves. That's what she should be saying. I mean, when you do something, own it, right? So that's why I wrote this week's two-parter. It's called The Great Wealth Transfer. I used to write The Wealth Transfer is Coming. I have to scratch that because it's here. And Act 1 of this is something called financial repression. If you do not understand what financial repression is, you will be shocked, scared, confused. So we want to help educate you on that. Educate, root word from educe. It means to draw out. It means to illuminate. So I'm not here to educate like I'm going to give you something so you can recite it back. To educate means that we're going to bring out. So I'm going to learn, you're going to learn together. We're going to bring this out because it needs to be brought out. We need to understand what's happening. These aren't accidents. These are policies that have been specifically designed to take wealth from everybody and transfer it to a very few. This is what the Federal Reserve stands for. These are their values. This is their organizational mission. It's not to help you, and it's not to help me, and it's not to help us begin to figure out what we need to do about this climate chaos and everything that's going on around us. It's simply there to maintain the status quo, which apparently, as long as you can make money doing it, that's the business of the status quo of late. So we need to change that. And it begins with educating ourselves. That's what we do at Peak Prosperity. And as well, I want to remind you that we do. If you want to go deeper into this subjects and other ones like it, come join us, myself, my wife, Adam, and our staff. We're going to be at Rowe Conference Center from April 6th to 9th. That's Thursday to Sunday. It's coming up. Very limited spaces. They're filling up rapidly, but we'd love to see you there because we all have to figure out what we're doing about all this, right? So that's going to happen at Rowe. Best time of the year to come do that. And otherwise, come to the site, check out the new two-parter I've written. Also check out all the other great content we've got going on there because we're really hitting it this year. You're going to see a lot more of this video content coming out this year so that we can educate ourselves about what's going on because it is time. With that, I'm Chris Martenson. I'll see you next week.